Hey, ladies, happy Small Business Saturday. It's your girl Cherie here. We are going to put on our 90-second clock. Please hit the like video. Today is all about forget side hustles. I'm against side hustles. So, on the other side of these 90 seconds, I'll tell you what I am for, especially for the upwardly mobile Black woman. All right, here's our 90-second clock now. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. We are the home of the upwardly mobile Black woman. For exclusive content and invitations to our Inner Circle Zoom meetings, which happen on a monthly basis, you can sign up for free for our email newsletter at bwmakingmoney.com. That's bwmakingmoney.com. Hey, ladies, it's Small Business Saturday. Hope everybody is doing well. Today's discussion is all about I'm against side hustles. What am I for? All of that good stuff we're going to talk about today. Put a 1 in the comments just so I can know you can hear me clearly. And super excited for today's conversation. Ladies, first of all, for all of my cloud watching men out there, happy Father's Day to you tomorrow if that applies to you. For all of my ladies who had great dads, my father has passed on, but he did leave me a legacy. So I want to thank my father, who is not on earth right now, but thank you, Dad. And to all of you who had great fathers and you're taking your dads out tomorrow, happy Father's Day on behalf of Black Women Making Money. Again, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly. Just I want to make sure that I am coming through clearly. I do also want to remind you, the Rich AF Book Club is next week. Next Sunday, 6 p.m., we are having part 2 of our Rich AF discussion. You are able to join us by coming to our website, bwmakingmoney.com, signing up for our newsletter. It is free, and you'll get the Zoom link in order to participate in that. That conversation will not happen on YouTube. That conversation will only happen in Zoom. So, alrighty then. Let's talk about side hustles, ladies. Let's talk about side hustles because so many people are like, you need more money, get you a side hustle. You need, you're trying to level up, get you a side hustle, things like that. There are times when a side hustle is appropriate. There are times when a side hustle is strategic. However, a lot of us are not going to be happy or not going to be able to sustain a side hustle for a long time. So I'm a fan of, instead of side hustles, I like side businesses or part-time businesses that eventually not everybody wants to turn their part-time business into a full-time business. But there's a difference between a hustle, a side hustle, and a part-time business. And here is Upwardly Mobile Black Women. I am in favor of the part-time business that ultimately, if you want to turn into a full-time business, you can, or if you want to get married and have children and you want to be home with your children and you're starting your part-time business before you have children and you're going to run that part-time business while you're raising those kids, of course, I am all for that as well. So I'm against side hustles for the super majority, like 95% of you as upwardly mobile Black women. So what we're going to do today is I'm actually not going to share this information with you on my own. I'm also going to let this guy share this with you as well. This is Scott Galloway. Let me put this up on the stage here. This is Scott Galloway, and he says the same thing, ladies, about side hustles. So let's hear what he has to say. And I'm going to let this play twice.
Side hustle, you need to find a different main hustle. You're better off with the time you spend on a side hustle, investing that incremental effort in your main hustle. A side hustle is fine if you're investigating a new main hustle, but the way you get wealthy is not a variety of things. It's being really great at one thing. So that's the focus. And the term we use is mastery or ninja-like capability. But try and find something you could become great at in an industry that's not very sexy. Because if you're in the top 10% of tax law or of installing energy efficient HVAC, or you're in the top 10% of people who know how to install soapstone kitchen counters, you're going to make a really good living. And I think young people mistake passion for their hobbies, not recognizing when they get older to be able to give money away, to be able to do nice things, to be able to relax with your partner. It's just super enjoyable. And the way you get there is by making more than you spend. But the first thing you got to do is find the focus. If you have a side hustle, you need to.
Okay, I'm going to play that again for you ladies. I'm going to play that again, but I did want to come here really quickly before he starts over again and say that Erica has said this before Erica Williams, for those who don't know, is on YouTube. Erica has said that in the last recession, most people lost their home because they did not have an additional $500 a month. When we went through Rich AF, Vivian talked about the fact that you are able to negotiate your salary and sometimes get a $10,000 bump in your salary. Sometimes we get these side hustles because we are not willing to do the work that it takes, including getting over our jitters and going asking for the raise that we deserve, because everybody else in the department is making 110 and you're making 80, and you're thinking a side hustle is going to be the answer to your question, to your financial issues, and it's not. Sometimes salary negotiation is, and go see Mentor Shelley, friend of the channel, with regards to that. Or Vivian in the Rich AF book talks about that as well. And she lays out how to ask effectively for a raise. But Scott Galloway really does talk about, hey, focus on one thing. Focus on one thing. Focus on your main thing, bringing in the Black women making money space, $65 an hour minimum. Tam over at Women in Linux is talking about you getting $250,000 to $300,000 jobs. If you had a $300,000 job, you most likely wouldn't need a side hustle, unless it was just something that was fun that you were doing. The other thing that I don't like about side hustles is most of the time, those side hustles are not sustainable for you 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. We're going to talk a lot more about that when we get into like the whole Uber thing and all of that. Now, a side hustle is different from a part-time business. If, for example, you're going to be a part-time notary, if you're able to turn that side hustle into a side business and a part-time business, I'm going to explain the differences to you, then we're talking. Because an upwardly mobile Black woman does not have a side hustle. She has a side business. She has a part-time business that she is working on maximizing her income for. The second thing is that side hustles, oftentimes you're making anywhere from, like, true side hustles that we talk about on Black YouTube and Black social media, is literally $10 to $30 an hour. We're not talking about that. We are talking about true side part-time businesses. You need to be at $50 an hour or more. And that does require you having a part-time business. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about the difference, but I want Scott Galloway, this guy on the screen, to repeat himself one more time with regards to the fact that he does not like you having a side hustle. And he's a multimillionaire worth $40 million telling you side hustles are a waste of time. So let me make him bigger on the screen again. And let's have him say this again.
To find a different main hustle. You're better off with the time you spend. If you have a side hustle, you need to find a different main hustle. You're better off with the time you spend on a side hustle, investing that incremental effort in your main hustle. A side hustle is fine if you're investigating a new main hustle, but the way you get wealthy is not a variety of things. It's being really great at one thing. So that's the focus. And the term we use is mastery or ninja-like capability. But try and find something you could become great at in an industry that's not very sexy. Because if you're in the top 10% of tax law or of installing energy efficient HVAC, or you're in the top 10% of people who know how to install soapstone kitchen.
And notice I talk about being in the top 10% of your technical skill all the time. He's saying the same thing. I didn't take this from him, but it's great to see somebody actually agreeing with us. We're always talking about finding whatever technical skill you have, being at the top 10% of your craft, of your game. Now, that's not all. You also need soft skills. You also need multicultural networks, and you also need the resources in order to get to the top 10% and maintain those skills. However, he's saying the same thing as we are. Also, another thing that Scott Galloway talks about, and we're going to get back to the part-time business and the side businesses. But the other thing that he says that I think is interesting, he doesn't say it here, but he says it other places, is that we need to focus on skills that, if you were employed in that industry, over 90% of the people that have skills in that industry are employed. So, for example, actors, actresses, they have a very high unemployment rate. But if you were an accountant, for example, or a nurse, for example, the chances of you having employment are very, very high. Some of your cybersecurity specialists and Linux engineers, like Tam is talking about, those people are in the 90th percentile with regards to being employed. But let's keep listening to what Scott Galloway here is saying. Make him bigger again.
Kitchen counters. You're going to make a really good living. And I think young people mistake passion for their hobbies, not recognizing when they get older to be able to give money away, to be able to do nice things, to be able to relax with your partner. It's just super enjoyable. And the way you get there is by making more than you spend. But the first thing you got to do is find the focus. If you have a side hustle.
Okay, so I did again want to show Scott Galloway having that conversation with us with regards to side hustles. I'm against side hustles. I want you to focus on, number one, maximizing your skills, getting really good at your full-time job. And then number two, if you want to do something on the side, if you want to bring in extra money, focus on having a side business and not a side hustle. What is a side hustle? It's Uber. It's doing these little things that, is bringing in, like you're braiding hair, but it's not a business. It's not a business. It is a side hustle. I'm against the side hustle culture. What is a business? A guy named T. Harv Eker years ago said that a business is a repeatable process that produces a profit, a repeatable process that produces a profit. The second thing about the difference between side hustles and side businesses, if, for example, you want to go out of town, you want to take a vacation, a side hustle will not continue to pay you while you're out of town enjoying life with your family. A side business, if you set it up correctly, will do that. I'm against side hustles for upwardly mobile Black women. I think more of us need to have side businesses. And then from those side businesses, if you're saying, okay, I'm going to take this side business and turn it like from part-time into full-time, great. If you're going to keep it as part-time because you want to raise your children, great, no problem. If you're going to use that part-time side hustle, if you're going to do a side hustle in order to get more skills that you can bring into your main hustle or even hate saying main hustle, but your career, as Scott Galloway is saying, great. But if you're thinking about it, most people intend to do side hustles until the day that they die. Most people don't have a plan out with regard to how do I get out of hustle all the time. So we're against side hustles. I'm against side hustles over here. But I do want to show you something else. So this is the definition of side hustle. Dictionary.com says a side hustle is a job or occupation that brings in extra money beyond one's regular job and main source of income. But if you look at the examples that they give with regards to side hustle, everything is about turning a hobby into a business. Everything, the way that we talk about side hustles, again, in Black social media is not the way that it's supposed to be. The example they give on dictionary.com, my book launch was the catalyst to finally take my side hustle seriously by turning it into a full-time gig, a full-time career, a full-time job. That is the definition of, you having purpose for your side hustle. So I thought this was very interesting. These are some side hustle statistics, everything you need to know about side hustles. Not all of them are bad. I'm not like, poo-poo. If you, for example, if you want to buy a house and you say, I'm going to do this side hustle for a year in order to get my closing costs, great, do that. I just think that a lot of people don't have a long-term plan with regard to these side hustles, and they're not turning their side hustle into a side business. And we're going to go through some of these stats, and then I'm going to actually talk to you about how to turn your side hustle into a business. And y'all are super quiet, so put a 1 in the chat if y'all hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you hear me. Y'all are super, super quiet, which is okay. I know this is the boring stuff here. We're not kikiing talking about Ebony K. Williams and whomever else and whatever else they're doing. But these are the things that are important. These are the things that turn us into the top 20% of earners in the Black community or in America, period. So here's some side hustle statistics that everyone should know. So key statistics: 45% of working Americans currently have a side hustle. 30% of those with a side hustle said they need the extra money to cover basic costs. So basically 1 in 3 people are doing side hustles to cover basic expenses. They wouldn't be able to stay in their home, to have food, maybe to put their kids into daycare if they did not have this side hustle. 1 in 3. 19.1% of side hustlers report that they make more than $1,000 a month with their side hustle. But guess what? With a part-time business, you could be making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. So I want us to shift from side hustle to part-time business. Most side hustlers, it says, spend 5 to 10 hours per week on their business. So they should say on here on their hustle, but okay. They're spending 5 to 10 hours a week on it. An average side hustle brings in $688 a month, but 45.6% of people state that they earn less than $250 a month from their side hustle. So close to half of the people that are doing these side hustles, close to half of them are making less than $250 a month. Let's be real. We go back to Rich AF. $250 a month, that is how much? That is $3,000 a year. You could get an increase in your salary from your main job for $3,000 a year. What does that take though? That takes skill, and that takes the willingness to go into your boss's office and actually deliver to them, talk to them about why you deserve a $3,000 raise. Okay. So let's see here. So this was a survey conducted on behalf of Self magazine, found that most respondents, about 26.7%, earned between $51 and $250 a month from their side hustle, and a small percentage earned over $4,000 a month from their side hustle. So this is how much people are making with their side hustles. Their side hustles, yes, is you can see anywhere people making $1 to $50. 18% of people that responded to this only make $50 on their side hustle, right? Next group of people here, $51 to $250. 26.7% of people make less than $250. If you want to get into real money, $2,000 to $4,000, only 6.5% of their respondents make this kind of money from their side hustles, and 1.7% make more than $4,000. I think anything you're doing below $1,000, if you're doing it for a shorter period of time, if you're doing it for a shorter period of time, like, hey, I'm just going to earn this money for the next year, great. But we as upwardly mobile Black women, we need to be at the $5,000 to $10,000 a month part-time income from our side businesses. Okay? So let's see what else they're saying here with regards to, y'all are super quiet today. Would somebody put a 1 in the chat for me? Just so I can know you all can hear me. So let's see here. So from the survey data collected, side hustles bring in an estimated $688 a month. So they had some really good stuff in here. So they say here, I'll make this a bit smaller for you. Which of these best describes what you spend your side hustle money on? So 34% of people say they spend it on regular bills and household expenses, meaning that without their side hustle, they would not be able to make it. 32% of people spend it on disposable income. 29% of people do savings and investing, and 3% do other. I think this is great. I think this is great if you are using your money, your side money, for savings and investment. Don't forget, investing is also investing in yourself and your skills as well. Oh, yay, I'm getting some ones in here. Thank you. Kelly's in the building. Chidima is in the building. Ashley's in the building. Thank you so much, ladies. Let me know what kind of side businesses you all have as well. You can tell me if you have a side hustle. That's okay. But I think this is interesting. I think it's great if you are able to make let's say $4,000 a month, that's 48,000 a year, and you're able to stash that money into savings and investment. I am looking at various YouTubes where people are saying, hey, I saved $10,000 in a year or $50,000 in a year or $100,000 in a year. And oftentimes either they sell something or they start a side business and they're able to bring in that money. So let's see what else we have here. So most people they surveyed, close to 70%, said their primary income was a full-time job, followed by part-time jobs. Just 1.5% of people surveyed said that their primary income was investments. So that makes sense. The most popular side hustles here. 16.6% of people saying that they have some sort of online and social media, TikTok, TikTok shops, YouTube channels, things like that. Makes sense. 15.6% say it's some sort of delivery, gig work, Uber work, etc. 13.4% says it's some sort of an online shop that they're doing. Freelancing, if you are a really high skilled person, freelancing, I've done freelancing. I just finished a freelance project. Well, it's going to finish actually in two weeks, but I'm done with it all. I just have to do a presentation. Can make some really good money. I made I made a nice piece of change from my freelancing work. Um, Selling crafts and design, 7.8% market research. Software and IT, ladies. Software and IT. So remember we had the discussion with Scott Galloway earlier, and he said, use your side hustle in order to increase your skills so that you could bring those into your main job. If you want to get into IT and software, like using your side business in order to work on projects that then you can use in order to make a higher salary is a great idea. And then 18% of people said that they do something else for their side hustle. Side hustles by age. I think this is interesting as well. Estimated average side hustle earnings. Most of my ladies are between 25 and 54 in here. So 25 to 34, you're making about $925 a month. 35 to 44, $944 a month. 45 to 54, you're making $891 a month. But ladies, if you are 55 to 64, you're averaging $1,061 a month, ladies. Hey, KB, good to see you. Look, so yeah, again, though, how do we get you to $4,000 plus? There's a way to do it and still have you part-time. Now, who do you run your side hustle with? Most people run their side hustle by themselves. Some people run their side hustles with a family member, a business partner, or a romantic partner. So Diamond Dave all the time is talking about the fact that you cannot be teams of people. You cannot be teams of people. So I wonder if the people who are running, if you have a very good functional work relationship with a partner, with a family member, with a friend, with a romantic partner, I wonder if those are the people who are making more money, either people who are doing the business with someone else or people who have a very, very specialized skill that they freelance to other people, right? Okay. And I saw someone here saying that they are supporting. Let me acknowledge you. Hey, Lila, good to see you. Thanks so much. Okay, so let's talk here. How much time a week do people spend on their side hustles? 14% say less than 5 hours, 32% say 5 to 10 hours, and 27% say 11 to 20 hours. The people who are doing more than 40 hours on their side hustle, baby, that is another full-time job. That is not a side hustle. That is a full-time job or a full-time business. 31 to 40 hours. There are people who do that. To me, that's close to full time as well. But yeah, there are a lot of people, though, that are doing 5 to 20 hours a week. All right. Then, when do you typically work on your side hustle? Ladies, tell me when you work on your side hustles if you have one. Most people say in the morning, most people say in the evening, 33.1%. You have some people who do it in the morning, 28%, some people who do it in the afternoon, 20%. And then you do have enough people who do it on the weekends. But evenings seem to be the time when a lot of people are doing their side hustles. I'm just going to read through a little bit more of this because I think these are fascinating. And then I'm going to go to what's better than a side hustle. Okay. How long have you been working your side hustle? 19% of people say 6 months, less than 6 months. 18% say 6 months to a year. 20% says 1 to 2 years. 18% says 2 to 3 years. And only 10% right now says more than 5 years. Here's the thing. Side hustles have just become more prevalent in the past 5 years, like really calling it side hustles and really thinking about it as side hustles has been more prevalent over the past 5 years with inflation and things like that. So I would not be surprised if this flips. And in the next 10, 15 years, we have a lot of people who are going to say, I've been doing a side hustle, since I got out of college and could get my first job. Let's be honest. Okay. So, expected growth in side hustle jobs. Personal care and services, will make this a bit bigger. Personal care and services. Computer and mathematical. Arts, design, and media. So those are the big ones, ladies. The smaller ones are transportation material, finance. The one that I just did was a business plan for somebody. So I consider that finance. And installation, maintenance, and repairs. Here's the thing with that. If you are good at installing, maintaining, and repairing stuff, that's going to be your main job. That's going to be your main job. So let's see what else we have here. So accounting and finance, there are a lot of companies hiring freelance accountants at the moment. Every organization and business from every sector needs accounting and financial services. Things like tax filing, auditing, and bookkeeping can be carried out remotely by a freelance account professional. Let me say this, ladies, to you. My mother's a bookkeeper. She has been one for 20 years. She has her own business. It's a full-time business. Even though she's kind of partially retired now. But with accounting, people want to know that they can trust you. People want to know that they can trust you with outside of their children. Their money is the second most important thing to them. So they want to know they can trust you with that. People will pay extra to somebody that they trust. So if you are good with bookkeeping, accounting, even if you don't have a CPA, if you aren't a CPA, if you are not a certified public accountant, thinking about, but let's say you have done bookkeeping for your church or you've done it for your parents' business or something like that, definitely thinking about that. And there is a woman that Erica has been promoting. Let me see if I can find her thing really quickly. It's Brandy Williams. And Erica has been promoting the fact that she's doing here we go. Hold on. I got to try to pull it up here. Erica Williams has been promoting Brandy's tax course. If you want to learn how to do taxes part-time, You can also be an EA. EA is it's people who represent individuals with IRS issues. That's going to be super huge as well, etc. But I'm a fan of don't turn these into side hustles, turn them into side businesses. And again, I'm going to go over what a business is and the difference between Ubering all over the place and driving yourself ragged and a true side business. So KB is saying, I would love to have a side business, but I'm focused on getting my IT certs. Fantastic. You took my advice about dumbing things down. Yes, good for you to target your goals. But could I look into starting a side business while studying for certifications? Of course you can. Of course you can. In fact, as you're learning your IT information, if you feel comfortable, take some projects around those IT lessons that you're learning, and that will beef up your resume as well, KB. But absolutely you can. Yes. So Erica also had, now that I'm on here, she's also promoting if you wanted to be a notary here as well. Andre Hatchett has his stuff, 46 hours on how to notarize documents. It's usually $1,000, but it's $100 right now. I have no idea how long this sale is going to be on, but you can go to Erica's community tab and find this information here if you want to learn. One great thing that I understand about Andre is he not only teaches you how to notarize information, but also how to build a business around it. Um, so let's come back then here to Self Magazine. We have freelancers doing digital marketing here. Digital marketing professionals can earn up to $100,000 per year working freelance. So it's a skill that is well worth having. IT and cybersecurity, virtual assistants. Some virtual assistants make $50 an hour if you are specialized in something. Again, you have to have a business and not just a side hustle. You could be a life coach. There are a lot of people who do that. And then they have finished talking here. Final thing I want to do is I'm going to talk to you about, give me a sec here. Hold on. Hold on, ladies. Hold on. Oh, Notary World is in the building. Yeah, just in time. So you all can go see Notary World as well. So on TikTok, the people are doing mobile phlebotomy. Wow. So those of you who don't know, phlebotomist is the person who pulls your blood. And there are people who are doing mobile phlebotomy. Wow. So I know phlebotomists don't make a lot of money, which is really weird, but that's interesting. Okay, so you all know that I said I am not a fan of side hustles. I want you to have a side business. And months ago, I did this session on being an inconsistent entrepreneur. Now I'm going to dust this off right now, and I'm going to talk to you how to go from having a side hustle to a side business. Because ladies, if you're going to do this side work for a long time, and let me make myself big so you all can see my face. If you're going to do this side work for more than 2 years, then it really does need to be a side business you are building and not a side hustle. Under 2 years, if you're just trying to get money in order to pay for college or pay for a certification or have the down payment for a house or something like that, that makes sense. My issue is you're not going to be able to side hustle your way to upper middle class. Upper middle class is $65 an hour, $130,000 a year. Some of you, look, the average side hustler is making about $600 a month. $600 a month is $7,200 a year. Some of you can honestly go and get that as a salary increase that goes back to rich AF. So if you're doing a side hustle in order to make ends meet, in order to just have more money for whatever, like Scott Galloway said at the very beginning of our session today, focus on getting to the top 10%. If you have a side hustle, he said, if you have a side hustle, you need to focus more on your main hustle. There are people who are making $130,000, $150,000, $200,000 with their business. The only reason to have a side hustle, according to him, which I would agree with, is if you are using that side hustle in order to get more skills so that you can get a better full-time job. Or for me, like, is if you are going to have a side business, and a side business is a repeatable process that produces a profit. Aside, you should not be side hustling at 60 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old. If you see yourself being in the rat race of side hustling, now's the time. This presentation is about how do you get out of that? How do you build something that can run without you, that can pay you while you're sleeping, that can pay you while you're on vacation, that you could sell one day to somebody else if that's what you choose to do? And that's what an upwardly mobile Black woman focuses on. So the first thing here is, you know, talent is okay. Talent actually is important. There are talented entrepreneurs because entrepreneurship is a skill, the skill of marketing yourself, the skill of converting people into customers that give you, cash or credit card or payments or whatever, the skill of hiring people, the skill of motivating people, the skill of running a business. Talent is important, but the results with just talent is just that, it flatlines. Talent is not enough. Consistency is important. We have to be consistent in showing up to our side businesses, right? Most of you know, if you don't show up to work, if you don't have those office hours, you don't show up to work, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. If you don't build your networks, if people don't know you, if people don't know what you're offering in the marketplace, you're not going to be successful. So I felt like this was very important for us to think about. First of all, is there has to be dedication to consistency. Next thing is there is a difference. When you're running a business, there is a difference between you, the woman, and you, the business. There's Cherie, the woman, and then there is Cherie, the business. Cherie, the business, KB, the business, Notary World, the business, is separate from the woman. When we're building our side businesses and then converting them to full-time businesses to do, you have to separate the two. There are certain things that Cherie does not like to do in her business of being a mortgage loan officer that has to get done. The business requires that these things get done in order for us to achieve our goals, our financial goals, our lifestyle goals, the business goals, etc. So the first thing we do is separate the two things. Separate me as the woman from me as the business. And my skin, hello, is my logo. You made it. You're still cleaning up your treatment room, but you actually made it live. Well, welcome. Okay, so let's make this bigger here. So with Cherie Inc., there are things that Cherie needs to do, that the business, right? There are things that the business needs to do in order to be successful. There are things that the business needs to do in order to be successful. I hope that I am still on. It looked like I froze on the screen. Um, One first thing you want to do is write down all of those things that you need that the business needs to do. You're going to start off writing a list of everything that the business needs to do. And then we're going to have us actually um, take that list and divide that list into 4 buckets: lead generation, sales conversion, service delivery, and accounting. Lead generation, what is that? It is the process of getting people to identify themselves and say, yes, I'm interested in what you are offering. I'm interested in your product. I'm interested in your service. Can you tell me more? The process of you telling them more is sales conversion. Sales conversion basically just means somebody hears what you're offering and agrees to give you money in exchange for that product or service. That's sales conversion. Number 3, service delivery. Service delivery is like, how are you going to get that product or service to that person? And then number 4 is your accounting, like just keeping up with your records, things like that, filing your taxes, putting the information on your taxes, all of that stuff. Those are the 4 to do in order to turn your side hustle into a side business. But side hustles make $600 to $1,000 a month. A side business can make you $4,000 to $10,000 a month, working the same amount of hours. Why? Because you now have a system. You can have other people help you with the service delivery. You can offer more to people. You can offer better offers to people. You can do better lead generation. You can have more people find out who you are and what you do when you are running a true business. So, what are you going to do with your list? You have your all the things you need to do. You're generating leads, you're converting sales, you're servicing people, and you're doing your accounting. You're going to take that list, and the first thing you're going to ask yourself is there a software that can do this line item, this task for me? Is there a software that can do this task for me? So, for example, automated emails, using um, direct response messages. You know, there's all sorts of software that can help you, for example, with your content. Leverage your content. Take long form videos and turn them into short videos, and then transcribe your videos and turn them into blogs. So that way you're able to put information on LinkedIn and, turn your content into X posts and, Twitter, things like that. First thing for every line item that's on your list is, can a software do it? Software usually is also the cheapest thing, and software doesn't call in sick. Software doesn't have a bad attitude, etc. So when you get really serious about having a side business, a part-time business, you're going to do this list. First question you're going to ask is, for every task that's on that list, can a software do it? Second question, if a software can't do it, can AI do it? Can artificial intelligence do it? Now, artificial intelligence is getting so smart that it's able to have full on conversations with your prospects. You have to train the AI, but we're getting to a point where people will be able to call, there will be AI answering, and the person on the other side will not even know that it's artificial intelligence that they're communicating with. So, are there tasks on your list that AI can do? This will help you make more money with less time and less effort. Number three, can you get an admin to do that task? Is it something that is repeatable that an admin can do? Again, you'll have to set up the processes for the admin. You'll have to train the admin, but you can also have things set up so that once you train the admin once, you can record that training and throw it into a learning center like Kajabi or something like that. And anytime a new person starts, they go right in, they learn how to do the job well. If software can't do the task at hand, AI can't do it, or an admin can't do it, that's when you need to do it. You or another employee. Okay? So again, you take your lead generation task, your sales conversion task, your service delivery task, your accounting task, and figure out if software is going to do those things, AI, an admin, or you are going to do those things. And then you're going to budget your time, and you're going to budget your money, and you're going to budget other people's time, and you're going to budget other people's money. And that's the process. That is the process. So, for whatever reason, my camera stopped working. So, but we're still here. We're on audio, etc. What questions do you have with regards to this? What comments do you have with regards to being moving from side hustles to part-time businesses to side businesses and then growing from there? It's been a long time since I've done like a full Small Business Saturday, but I think these topics are important. These are the topics that are boring, but the boring people are rich. Ladies, the boring people are rich. The boring people have options. The boring people don't have to go to the grocery store and they get a $190 bill and they're like, oh my goodness, do I have enough money? Or I'm going to have to move money from here in order to, afford these groceries, etc. If we're able to move from side hustles, hustling all the time, to focusing on the main thing, and then having a side business. And since you all are really quiet, I'm going to share Scott Galloway one more time because I think what he says is just so good here. And a lot of people just came in. So I want to share Scott Galloway with you one more time before we head out, unless you have questions.
If you have a side hustle, you need to find a different main hustle. You're better off with the time you spend on a side hustle, investing that incremental effort in your main hustle. A side hustle is fine if you're investigating a new main hustle, but the way you get wealthy is not a variety of things. It's being really great at one thing. So that's the focus. And the term we use is mastery or ninja-like capability. But try and find something you could become great at in an industry that's not very sexy. Because if you're in the top 10% of tax law or of installing energy efficient HVAC, or you're in the top 10% of people who know how to install soapstone kitchen counters, you're going to make a really good living. And I think young people mistake passion for their hobbies, not recognizing when they get older to be able to give money away, to be able to do nice things, to be able to relax with your partner. It's just super enjoyable. And the way you get there is by making more than you spend. But the first thing you got to do is find the focus. If you have a side hustle, you need to find a different main hustle. You're better off with the time you spend on a side hustle.
Okay, so Shy Britt, hey, you wanted me to re-explain the woman versus the business. Sure. So let's come back here. I did pull it up again. And yeah, okay. So re-explain the woman versus the business. Okay, so the difference is that I, Cherie, have certain skills that I do well. I have certain things that I do well. I have certain things that I like to do. However, there is a difference from me, the person, and business, right? So my business is being a mortgage loan officer. I'll give you a great example of this. The business, which I'm the area director of, I basically run the day-to-day operations. Um, there are things that the business needs done that I, Cherie, the person, either cannot do or do not do well. So, one of the issues with people when they start running businesses is that um, there are things that the business needs that they don't do well, and the person just either tries to do those things or and does them poorly, or the things don't happen in the business at all. So when we first started this conversation, when I started talking about this, one of the things, the whole premise was, how do I start a business if I'm an inconsistent person? So let's say you're an inconsistent person. You can get leads in, but you do not consistently follow up with people all the time as you should. Does that mean that the business should not follow up with people? Or does that mean that you, Shy Brit, the woman, just doesn't follow up with people? Hopefully, it means that you recognize that the business needs to follow up with people. The business needs to follow up with your leads. So, that is why I was saying you write a list of everything that the business needs to do in order to be successful. It's different from Cherie. Cherie, the woman, doesn't have to do everything. But these are the things that the business needs to do in order to be successful. And then you take that list and you ask yourself, is it something that, do this here, is it something that software can do? Does the business need some software in order to do that task? Does the business need artificial intelligence to do that task? Does, it, does the business need an admin or someone from Fiverr, for example, to do that task? Or do I actually have to do that task in order for the business to be successful? In order for the business to bring in $10,000 a month with me working 15 hours a week on it? That's the question. That's the question. So, great question. If anybody else has a question, definitely let me know. But thank you, Shy Brit. Let me know if that explanation, works for you. If you need me to have other questions, definitely let me know. But this is a very important topic, ladies, because I don't think you can side hustle your way for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Perfect. Great. Fantastic. Glad you got it much better. And both Victoria and Mentor Shelley has been like, Cherie, you really need to take this concept and like really help people with it and things like that. I'm so busy with my main thing now, my main focus, that I just don't have the time to do it, not to do it right. But these concepts, these things are so important. And I just don't think that people can side hustle their way for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, especially an upwardly mobile woman. I don't think that that is smart. I don't think that that is wise. I don't think that that is going to get you ultimately where you want to go. If the average side hustle makes $600 to $700 a month, to me, that just doesn't make sense longer than, like I said, 2 years. If you're doing a side hustle in order to get to a specific point in your financial journey, or you're using your side hustle in order to get freelance jobs so that you could build more skills, so that you could take it to your main job, your main business, that's different. But I'm against side hustles because all I see, and these are my spidey senses, all I see are people going to do side hustles for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. They're going to bitch and complain about, I've been working 2 jobs. my main job and the side hustle for the last 20 years, and you're just going to be on a treadmill. And that doesn't make any sense. Absolutely, KB. Absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that. And Notary World, at some point, Notary World, I got to get you on. I do want to start doing more, going back to some of our roots, talking about some ways that people can make money, side businesses that they can start, full-time things that they're able to do, etc. I love the messy money topics. The only reason I can't do more on this channel is just because I don't have the time. I just don't have the time. I'm so focused on trying to get loans closed, not trying to, I hate trying to. I'm so focused on getting loans closed and things like that and rebuilding, my career, etc. That I just come on when I can. Just so happens this weekend is a light weekend for work. I got to do a couple of things, but I'm about to actually leave here and go get my nails done. But yeah, I thought this was an important topic, and I, will come and do Small Business Saturday as much as possible. But we as full-time business owners, if we're not bringing home at least 130, if we're not bringing home at least 130, which means we should be making 200, 250, even more in our businesses full time. If we're not doing that, then we need to shake things up. And the things that I showed you today is important, even if you have a full time business. So that is it. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for being a part of Small Business Saturday. And we'll definitely be here for Messy Money Monday. I've got some good topics for Monday. So I will see you ladies soon. And don't forget the Rich AF book club is the 23rd. If you want to get on the list for that, bwmakingmoney.com. I'll send out the Zoom link and you can get on the list to be a part of the Rich AF book club. Again, Rich AF book club is June 23rd. June 23rd, ladies. And also, if your father is in your life, happy Father's Day to your fathers. Any man who's cloud watching, happy Father's Day to you. If you are in your children's lives and you are doing right by your children, happy Father's Day, happy Father's Day. All right, Natural Ally, thank you so much. All right, ladies, see you later. Bye.